I'm Adam Calaway. I'm at Cattle Chat Corner at the Grow Safe Noble Foundation booth at NCBA 2014 in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm here with Tom Woodward. Mr. Woodward, tell me where you come from and a little bit about your operation.
Adam, we operate in northeast Texas, up northeast of Dallas, about 100 miles, and I live in Decatur, Texas, and I'm just glad to be here. Great place to be.
What are you here at NCBA to do and learn about?
My goodness, you know, one of the great things about NCBA, at the trade show, you connect with so many people. I've run into 100 people today that I know and haven't seen in a year, so it's a great time to catch up and learn new stuff. You know, there's new products. We just love walking around and seeing new products. And then, of course, this morning, learning about where our industry is and where we're headed that Cattle Facts presented was just great. And I was really encouraged when I heard the weather.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Maybe not the weather, but a little bit about the industry. Where do you see our industry as we stand right now?
Well, obviously, we're seeing all-time highs in terms of the value of our product, which is a great thing. And so that's encouraging. But, you know, all of us is, I guess, tend to think, well, wait a minute, how far is it to the bottom from here, you know? And so you're concerned about, is this going to sustain? Are we going to see this market continue to have the strength that it's had here this last year and this last few months? And so that it's encouraging to see the numbers and the people that crunch the numbers say that it looks like we do have an opportunity to sustain these price levels, and we're in a new trading range. And so if we can figure out how to control our cost and look at what the value of our product is, then hopefully we can make some money for a few years.
Well, one of the things that we always like to talk about here on Cattle Chat Corner is the economics of raising cows. If you go back and look at the cost to produce a calf 10 years ago versus now, what's the difference for you?
Well, certainly it's much higher. All of our input costs, our fuel, our fertilizer, our equipment costs, our labor costs, our insurance costs, everything we do costs more today than it did 10 years ago. I don't know of anything that's cheaper. And some of those things have gone up dramatically. So, yes, we have the highest prices we've had for our product, but to make a profit, we need some of that for a while, because for about, 10 years, if you look back over the history of our profitability, we lost money for quite a few years. It was just a tread and water deal, and so we need an opportunity to put some profit back into our cow-calf operations so that they can expand and in turn provide product for our feeders and for our customers. And we need to do that. We need to have that profit so cow-calf people will be encouraged to get back in, retain heifers, produce more calves so that we can keep our market going. We don't want to get into a position where we just keep dwindling the cow herd. That is counterproductive.
We have the smallest cow herd we've had since 1952 as a nation. In fact, we've gone through 6 years of of contracting for 6 straight years. Can you talk about some of the factors as to why we've gone through this process in the last half decade?
Well, I think obviously for a period of time we were losing money. I mean, and I think we saw some fracturing, some breaking down of the size of the operations, and people decided, hey, it's not worth it to raise these calves. You know, the one bull herd, the guy with 30 cows, he got discouraged. You know, he wasn't really making any money, and so he decides, hey, I'll just sell my cows and do something else. And then the drought, of course, took a lot of people down. We lost a lot of inventory during the drought. And Texas is a big cow-calf state, and we lost a lot of cows during that process. So there's several things, not only just the economics, but the weather conditions also contributed to the decline in the cow herd. But, you know, those things hopefully are turning, and we can see some better weather patterns maybe for a few years, and with the prices, hopefully we can regain and reestablish some of that foundation that makes this whole industry fly, which is the cow-calf operation.
One of the things that has been discussed is McDonald's came out recently and they announced that they want to start purchasing verifiable, sustainable beef by 2016. Maybe you could tell me what sustainable means to you and how you define it.
Well, that's a good question, Adam. That is a challenge, because I've wondered myself, what does sustainable mean? I mean, is this something new? And then when you really think about it, no, it's really not new. It's something we've been doing for a long time in agriculture, not just in the cow-calf sector, but in the farming sector as well. The challenge has been to make enough profit that you can keep the system going. And so to do that, we have to do a lot of things right. We have to take our natural resources, the dirt that we're working with, the plants we're working with, the water that we receive, and we've got to manage those in such a fashion that we can, in fact, continue. If we abuse it, we lose it. And so all farmers and ranchers are looking to be sustainable. I mean, that's part of our nature, part of who we are. And so, you know, and the Noble Foundation has done such a great job in helping people understand that. Whether they're a small operation or a large operation, they need to take care of those natural resources. And so we've really focused on that, a lot more focused now than there was 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. But that's part of sustainability.
Well, right now there seems to be a shift in how we define that. How do you think the consumer defines sustainability as opposed to maybe a producer?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that they know what sustainability means, and it probably means different things to different people. If you're a fast food industry and you're asking for this, what does it mean to them? They're going to use it as a marketing tool. But as to what it really means in the real world out here where we produce this product, I'm not sure they really know. It's a buzzword. It's something new that some people are hearing, and, oh, that sounds great, sustainability. But we're the pioneers in sustainability.
Well, one of the other issues that came up this last year is we've had some different companies, businesses, burrito businesses, talk about animal welfare. And some of their commercials, they portray agriculture as a factory. How do you as a producer react to that when you see that?
Well, number one, I think we as an industry need to be very cognizant of that. This is a real issue to me, and one that we probably have been negligent of in our industry from all levels, whether it's a cow-calf, stocker, feeder, packer, and we are making progress in that arena. You know, I was excited today to see over in the trade show Ron Gill and Kurt Pate and what they were talking about in terms of low-stress animal handling. And in our operation, we have been focusing on that for a number of years because, quite honestly, the animal that has the less stress is going to perform the best for us. So we, in our handling processes, in our immunization programs to control disease, and anything we do, we really want to be the best at providing for that animal. Because when we do that, we profit from that process as well.
Well, last question that I've been asking everybody is if you had an opportunity to talk directly to consumers, what would you tell them about our industry? Well, another way of saying that maybe is what would you wish that all the consumers knew about our industry?
Well, you know, I would love for them to really know the truth, number one, to see what we really do and how we do it. And I think if people could see that and understand it, then they're going to fall in love with what we do. They're going to like our product because they'll see that we really are taking care of the animals, we're taking care of the land, and we're trying to produce a wholesome, healthy product for our consumers. And you know, how we get that truth to them is something that some people like yourself are going to have to help us with. How do we get that information to them? Because I think that's the key. If they could see the truth, I think they'll fall in love with us.
Tom Woodward, thank you for stopping by Cattle Chat Corner.